welcome back to another edition of First and Goal. I am your host, C3 First and Goal. Do me a favor if you haven't already. Follow me on X/Twitter at First and Goal underscore FNG. That's FIRSTANGOAL underscore FNG. Also, now available on YouTube and other platforms where you get all your podcast needs. Now, let's get into the show. All right, Panther fans, Panther Nation, don't worry. Your free therapy session is here. After a blowout loss to the Chicago Bears, I completely understand where most of our headspaces are at. This podcast is coming out late this week. I do apologize. Today is Friday when I'm recording this. I've got backed up this week. I have returned to work, so my podcast might come out a little late this week and moving forward here, but I'm still going to do my best to keep up with this as best as possible. But yes, again, free therapy session is here for all of our Panther fans and Panther Nation after a disgraceful loss to the Chicago Bears after fleecing us for the first round pick and DJ Moore and everything else, to come in and just get whooped up by them the way we did. God, just rough. So that's a quick overview of the game, just absolutely rough, and I'm here for you, Panther Nation. I'm here for you. So today's episode is going to be dubbed the defense struggles. Defensive struggles. We all know the defense has been struggling so far this season. I have some reasons that I believe of why. Not just that our coach is trash and this, that, and the third that everybody's screaming for. There's always more to it than just the first emotional stance. Like this guy's bad, get rid of him. There's always a little bit more to it. And before we get into all the stats and everything, it's also not a defending of Coach Rivero or anything like that. I like to look at everything in a whole before I make any decisions or, analysis on anybody. I was going to say analogy, but analysis on anybody. And we're just calling for their heads. Moving forward, either way, I believe that we should still look for a new DC. I would like for us to move to a 4-3. I think this 3-4 just doesn't fit our group, doesn't fit our scheme nor division. We need a 4-3. So, with that being said, let's move into the stats and talk about this defensive struggle continuing for the Carolina Panthers. We got a lot to cover in the show today, just to let you know, so I'm going to go over this as quick as possible, y'all. So, you know how I break it down, stats first, because it tells a story, and then we go into some observations, and then we break it all down. So, stats. Let's get it in here. First downs, Carolina 14, Chicago 24. Terrible. We're opening off with right off rip, not good numbers. Passing first downs, we had 9, Chicago had 12. Rushing first downs, Carolina had 4, Chicago had 11. Embarrassing when you have one of the best running teams in the league right now. We're not utilizing them. We're going to talk about that as well. First down from penalties, even split at 1. Third down efficiency, we were 3 for 12, and Chicago was 4 for 11. So we both need to clean that up. That was kind of even there, but we still got blown out in that game. So we need to get better on third down. Fourth down, 1 for 3 Carolina, 0 for 1 Chicago. Total yards. This is a kicker here. We had 292 total yards, where Chicago had 424 total yards. Yikes. And that's why we dubbed the episode Defensive Struggles, because they have been struggling. Total drives, even split at 12 apiece, so unacceptable that we couldn't get more going. Yards per play, we averaged 5 yards per play, and then Chicago averaged 6.1. So, yeah, man, this is it's kind of alarming. Passing, we had 172. They had almost 300 at 296. Wow. I mean, for you to let Caleb, a rookie, throw all over you like that, that's crazy. 22 out of 35 for completion and attempts, 20 for Carolina, and then 20 to 29 for Chicago. Yards per pass was 4 for us, 9 for Chicago. So that's something I'll touch base with quickly. I noticed almost off rip in that game, every pass was 3 yards or 4 yards. And obviously, yards per pass tell you the story. That's what happened. I do have Dalton's next stats gen here as well, and it shows that no pass was really over 5 yards. We had only 2 attempts go over that, and they were incomplete. So we got to tighten that up. We can't, when we're doing that with Bryce too, which made no sense. We're just a 2 yard pass, 1 yard pass. Like, bro, that's not gonna win games. Like, even if you have the best guys that can get open and make moves in space and all that, if you got really good yak guys, it's still really hard to generate momentum and keep plays alive with 2 3 yard passes, expecting these yak guys just to break tackles and make plays every single 2 yard pass. We got to get a little more creative than that. But moving on, interceptions, we had one. Chicago didn't turn the ball over, so they did really good there. Sacks, we had 4 sacks, bro. We were just giving, Andy Dalton was getting beat up back there. 22 yards total of loss on sacks, and then we only got one home one time for 8 yards. I mean, the defense has really been struggling, obviously, in the pass rush. We're going to get into all that, though. We are definitely going to get into all that. And then rushing. Carolina had 120 rushing yards. 120 rushing yards. Chicago had 128. Unbelievable. But we had 120 rushing yards on 19 attempts, where they had 128 rushing yards on 39. That's 20 or more attempts. Bro, we are the most efficient you can be at running. Our EPA is #1 in running, and we're not running the ball. Come on, make that make sense. Make that make sense. God, man, Jimmy Jillikers, Batman, what are you doing, Mr. Canales? Like, I get it, you're rookie head coach, so I'm not gonna bash this guy. He's been in the league 15 years though, so it's not like he doesn't know the ball. It's not like he doesn't know how to play the game. It's not like he doesn't know how to coach. Obviously head coaching's a significant jump from, quarterback coaching, wide receiver coaching, absolutely. But come on, my boy, you got to do better than that. You got to just, it's basic math here, right? 1 + 1 = 2. Well, I'm not going to try to make 2 + 2 = 1. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but not the greatest analogy, but you know what I'm saying. Like, good Lord, man, if it works, don't fix it. If it works, don't fix it. You know what I'm saying? It's working. Ay, ay, ay. But anyways, our rushing yards per rush was 6 yards per attempt. I mean, we're just efficient. And theirs was only 3, so we're actually pretty decent at stopping the run this game. It didn't look like it because, they were playing complementary football, and that's what we're going to get into here. But that's just how the cookie crumbles, man. You got to stick to your strengths, and running is our strength, and you're not doing it. Anyways, red zones, we were 0 for 2. That's why we lose. We can't score in the red zone. And then the Bears were 3 for 4. Simple as that. Penalties, we had 4. Chicago had 5 for more yards. This stat's very misleading because I believe, I don't have the exact numbers, but I'm almost certain that 2 to 3 of those penalties came in the fourth quarter, garbage time. That's a typical way the league handles this situation, right? Because if you don't watch the game and somebody's like, oh, hey, we kind of got screwed over by penalties, then, the person that didn't watch the game looks at the stats and they're like, oh, well, Carolina had 4 penalties for 18 yards. Chicago had more penalties than you and more yards. Yes, you are correct about that. But those 4 penalties came during critical times and critical drives. That's how they get you. That's how they hurt you. I've said it already in multiple podcasts. When it's 3rd and 12, you're driving down the field, you're finally getting in close to the red zone, you're about to score, you're making strides, and it's 3rd and 12, you make the completion or you make a big run, and then here comes the critical penalty. The holding, the illegal use of hands or whatever, but it's on us. It's on us, and it's at the most critical and crucial point of our drive. It's never garbage time. We're not getting the penalties in the fourth quarter when we're up by 30 points. That's not when we're getting the penalties. No, we're getting the penalties in critical, crucial drives early and often. And that's what hinders our ability to win games. Now, this isn't about that. I'm just giving you a perfect example. So if you didn't watch the game, go back, look at the game. You see that the Bears literally had maybe 1 to 2 penalties all the way up until the fourth quarter. And that's how the refs get you. And then there's no argument because then you can't be like, oh, well, there's something there. But, they give them 3 garbage time penalties when the game's already over, already lost. penalized. And now when you look at the stats, you have no argument because they have gotten penalized more. But you have to watch the games to actually understand it. So that's my piece. Anyways, we had 3 turnovers and Chicago had 0. Unacceptable. I mean, we're not taking care of the ball. We're not going to win the game. I'm not going to dismay, Chicago's defense. They play good, man. And they're coming up. Chicago's turning around. They're not the Buns team that we all thought they were going to be. We got to give them a little respect and understand that they're on the rise, semi on the rise. I'm not saying that they're, the next Kansas City Chiefs or nothing. They're on the rise a little bit. So watch out for Chicago. But, we lost 2 fumbles. They lost none. We did not protect the ball whatsoever. And then again, we threw that 1 interception. They had none, and then no defensive or special team touchdowns. So the the end all be all, my holy grail, time of possession. Once again, we did not win. And that's why we did not win the game. And if you notice, any time that we've had 1 time of possession this year, we've won that game, and that was versus the Raiders. But we ended the game with 26 minutes of time of possession, which isn't terrible, but again, not enough because Chicago had it for 33 minutes, thus winning the game. So with those stats, looking at it, it's definitely tough. It shows a lot of issues that we're going to go into here. And before we talk about those key takes and obs, let's just some key performers here. Andy Dalton, he went 18 for 28, 64.3 completion percentage. He had 136 yards, 4.9 average, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception, and 31 yards was his longest pass. Andy Dalton played pretty solid. I'm going to get more into like the play calling and stuff like that, but he did pretty good for what our game plan was. It was awful. I honestly was very confused about our game plan. Chuba Hubbard, moving on. Chuba Hubbard, another key performer. This is my guy. We all know this. You listen to my pod. I love Chuba. That's my guy. 13 carries for 97 yards, 3 yards shy from 100 yards. That would have been 3 games in a row. He had over 100 rushing yards. And we're not feeding this guy. Makes 0 sense. Even if I was a rookie coach, the main thing I would be doing was what's working, and I would be overloading Chuba with the ball. You know what I mean? It would almost be like the fans would be like, bro, you got to give the ball to somebody else. You know what I mean? Like, come on now. But anyways, 3 yards away from 100 yards. Unbelievable. 7 yards average. The dude's a first down machine, and we're not giving him the ball when you're going – what was it, 3 for 12 on 3rd down, but you're not giving a guy that's averaging 7 yards a run. Hello. It's easy math here, people. Anyways, 38 was his longest. He broke off the 31-yard touchdown, which he had a fumble apparently in this game. But, yeah, he broke off the big touchdown. He's just lighting it up. And Chuba's that dude, bro. Chuba is that dude. So, he had great game. He had 4 receptions for -2 yards. I don't really want to see Chuba in that reception role. I don't mind him there, but Chuba's your bell cow, man. Let Miles Sanders be that pass catching guy. That's what he excelled at over in Philly. He was a good zone guy, outside zone, runner. He's really good at that. He can get outside quick, but he was also excelled in that pass catching role. So I don't know why we're not utilizing him in there. That's what I thought we were going to do with him. Instead of making him 1A, 1B, let him be your 3rd down back who, was going to run out on the slant there or, on a little check down or something, you know what I mean? Or, maybe a wheel or something. I don't know, but that's the guy we should be utilizing as that 3rd down back, in my opinion. So, Chuba's a beast. Again, we'll get into that in a second, like why we didn't, continue to run the ball. And then another highlight key player here is Jalen Coker, obviously fan favorite. Guy that I'm big on. Jalen Coker had 4 receptions, 4 targets, so he was perfect hunter for 168 yards. Dude almost had 100 yards, 75 receiving yards almost in his first actual game. Like, come on, man. He had a nice 31-yard reception that Andy Dalton threw him. Kid's solid, man. Personally, I think he should be taken over for Jonathan Mingo. I think Jonathan Mingo's trash, respectfully, just being respectful here. In my opinion, the dude, being a former wide receiver / safety, I got converted into safety. I wanted to be a wide receiver. That was my main position. But my defensive coach was just like, nah, dude, you're too You have too much of a nose for the ball, and they wouldn't let me play offense. But anyways, like when he goes up for the ball, he throws his body away from the ball. Like his catches are just so ugly, dude. Like why are you throwing your body 10 yards away from the ball? Like what are you doing? Like you do these ugly catches like that one where he's wide open, he like dives to the ground. Like dude, your catches are so ugly. Use your hands. Ugh. Anyways, so yeah, I hope for Jalen Coker to take over Mingo's spot. He's obviously already shown more promise in one game than Mingo has all season, last year and this year. So we got to get rid of that dude and move on. I don't mean like just bench him, but I'm just saying we got to do something. Whether it's development, we got to figure it out. But okay, enough with the stats. Let's move on to the key takes and obs. And first thing I want to talk about, and the first thing I'm sure most people were confused with, and I've been in a few spaces lately and kind of getting everybody's vibe. And, I'm right there with most people. And, my big thing was coaching decisions. That's my first key take and coaching decisions. Well, what coaching decision? The abandonment of the run. How do you abandon the run game from a coach that said he would be stubborn about running? Yeah, we see that. You're stubborn in running the opposite way, meaning you're not running the ball. That's where you're stubborn. That's I guess what you meant by not, by being stubborn with running the ball, you weren't going to do it. Because we have one of the most efficient per next gen stats, we have one of the most efficient EPA running games, and you're not utilizing it. Bro, in what world does that make any sense? I don't want to hear we're down. I don't want to hear we're down because I got the play-by-play right here, and this is something that we're going to talk about because this is things that we're not acknowledging, right? Same thing with the defense. We're not acknowledging the other things that are, around this problem, right? We're not acknowledging it. We're just quick to throw the hands up and be like XYZ for whatever reason, and that's it. We're not looking at the whole. We got to look at it by the whole. So, some of the coaching decisions, particularly early, and the abandonment of the run were very questionable. Even in post game, coach was getting questioned about it. So that's how it wasn't just me that noticed it. It wasn't just, most of the fans. Everybody was like, yo, what is happening here? The Panthers abandoned the run game early, which made their offense one-dimensional, people. One-dimensional, okay? This is what I mean by complementary football, right? By being a little bit more methodical in our play calling, right? And our game plan / approach to attacking these defenses. If we're just passing the ball and it's 3 to 4 yards because we didn't average more than a 4-yard pass, you're not going to win a game, especially against a team or a defense that's, on the rise and pretty decent. They have the edge rushers. They have the secondary. And your game plan was to throw the ball 4 yards and abandon the run that was successful early on because we scored first, right? It's not like we didn't score first. No, we scored and then allowed them to put up 30-something unanswered. 30-something unanswered. Bro, that's coaching. You got me all the way messed up. That's not defense. That's not offense. That is coaching. Why is it coaching? Because you abandoned the run game early, which made us one-dimensional, and then you got out-coached because we were one-dimensional, allowing the Bears to make it easier for them to defend us because they know what we're doing. They can pin their ears back and just put the pressure on us, knowing that we don't have the greatest of wide receivers. And look what happened. and this is what happens when you're one-dimensional. If you don't remember, that's how Denver figured out how to beat the 2015 Carolina Panthers. They stacked the box and sent everybody because we had no weapons for Cam Newton. You can miss me what we did. Ted Ginn, Mr. Brick Hands, all I do is return kickoff returns because I can't catch. Yeah, number one. Then who we had number two? Oh, yeah, Philly Brown. The dude didn't even play for another team after he left. Come on, man. But anyways, that's my point. They stacked the box, they blitzed everybody, knowing there was nothing that he could do because basically the threat was his legs. And if you just put the pressure on him and he jammed guys up just long enough, there's nowhere to throw the ball. It's very simple. I mean, people do that stuff on Madden, bro. Like, come on, man. Like, ay. Anyways, so let's look at this real quick. So the play calling was very, very questionable, and that's what I'm saying. And then if we look at the play-by-play here, let's look at our first drive. Our first drive was 5 plays for 51 yards, which took 2 minutes and 45 seconds. The first play was a run. It was that sweep to Diontae Johnson, right? Then we passed it, right? Then we passed it again. So we opened up with a run, pass, and then another sweep with Diontae Johnson there, which was 4th down, mind you. So we're already going for it on 4th down in our first drive. And then Chuba breaks it to the house for the touchdown. So that was our first play, not first drive, not too bad, right? So now let's go to the next drive, right? Let's look at the next drive after that, because right after we scored, they go right down and they answer, right? Okay, so now it's 7-7. Okay, so our next time we punt. We go 5 plays and we punt. So let's look at it. First down, we run the ball for 5 yards, right? Solid. Not bad at all. Now it's second down, right? We get a penalty for ineligible. Again, that's a coaching thing, and that's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous, especially for an offensive guru. So that sets us back, and now we pass the ball for negative yards. Now we get another penalty. Too many men on the field. So we got 2 penalties. Chandler Zavala was an ineligible wide receiver. So that's, again, a miscue, something we got to clean up. And then the next time same drive, second down and 11, too many men on the field for another penalty. Yep. Now 2nd and 16, we pass the ball. 3rd and 13, pass the ball again, and he gets sacked. So we went from 2nd and 5. 2nd and 5 to 3rd and 13. And that's my point. So again, the penalties put us into passing situations which allow their defense to pin their ears back and just go down the field and drive it right up our throats. Now, mind you, this was 5 plays for 3 minutes, right? So the defense, after already 2 drives being on the field, had 3 minutes of rest before going back onto the field for 13 plays. Okay, so this is where it gets ugly. So we punt on this. Now, mind you, it's still 7-7. In the first quarter, we've already essentially abandoned the run at this point, because when we ran it for 5 yards and then got a first down, penalties drew us back to where we passed the ball. And this is the problem, because we're passing the ball too much, not sticking to what works, and that's putting us in bad situations, causing us to punt. So, second possession in the first quarter, we punt after 5 plays on only 3 minutes of controlling the ball. Okay? Now we punt the ball. Chicago gets it for 13 plays, 80 yards, and have the ball for 6.5 minutes. So now that means that our defense, after 7 plays, right, and only 3 minutes of rest, are back on the field for 13 plays and another 6.5 minutes. Okay? That's not including all the other time on there. It's definitely a little longer, but that's actual second to second from whistle to whistle, right? Okay, so move on to the next play, right? They score on that, 13 plays, 80 yards, 6 minutes. They score. Boom, it's 7-14. Our next drive, this is only drive 3, we come out and throw it on first down. And then second down, we hand the ball off to Miles Sanders. What? Bro, I'm right there. I don't even need to continue to break down the play-by-play from here. You just scored a touchdown in less than 3 minutes and 5 plays by running the ball with Chuba Hubbard, who is literally your most efficient back. You come out after they go 13 plays, knowing your defense is tired, knowing that you have a circumstantially amount of injuries, and you need to help your defense out in any way. So allowing them more time to rest in between, possessions is critical. And if you don't understand that, you never played football. Simple as that. You never played football. If you're not even getting a sip of Gatorade before going back out on the field, bro, you're giving up points. Simple as that. And then when your offense isn't complimenting you because of bad play calling, it's a recipe for failure. So, miss me with all that other stuff. This is simply bad play calling. This was a bad game plan. And just once again, Coach Canales hit the panic button, and this is what's happening right now. We get down, and he hits the panic button, and from there, it's air it out. And that makes us one dimensional. And when we're one dimensional, it allows the teams to pin their ears back and just send everybody, right? So, like I said, right after that score, when they scored the 13 plays for the 80 yards, we went 3 plays and punted it, right? 3 plays, which only took 2 minutes. And then our defense is back out there for another 9 to 10 plays. So you riddle me that. Riddle me that. Which, mind you, they even came out and made a stop. They made a stop. And then we went out and fumbled it the next down. And then they came out and scored a very easy touchdown because they were only 40 yards out. So there you go. And then we abandoned the run. So there you go. And it simply happened basically in the first quarter. We got out-coached, we got out-game planned, and the coach quickly bailed and panicked and just said, let's air it out to try to win this game. And that's just not going to win you games. You have to stick to your game plan. You have to be methodical in your approach. You can't just let's air it out. This ain't Madden. This ain't NFL Blitz. Even though I could have swore I was watching NFL Blitz because of that one PI on Mingo, the dude's like literally tackling him when the ball's in the air, and they don't even call a penalty on that, bro. Don't even get me started on that. That was absolutely ridiculous. I was like freaking out. I'm going nuts. Even my wife's like, babe, calm down. But, dude, that shit had me so tight. I'm like, are you kidding me? The dude's tackling him, and they're not calling it? If that was in Carolina, dude, they would have called the freaking National Guard over to arrest the guy because we can't do anything without a fucking penalty, dude. Oh my god, this shit drives me nuts. And I try not to swear on these pods, man, but that shit drove me fucking nuts, man. Absolutely unbelievable. But anyways, as you can see, the piss poor play calling, the piss poor game plan was a joke. Our game plan basically was to come in and throw the ball 4 yards, screens and checkdowns, and that was it. And that was terrible because it did nothing. It did nothing. We scored 7 points. That's what that game plan does. That's what that does. And we seen the same fucking shitty game plan with Bryce Young. Same fucking one. And that's why we'll never be successful in these shit ass game plans. So moving on. Now this is we're gonna talk about the defense, and this is kind of where the correlation comes in. Okay, so the defense obviously struggled to contain the Bears' offense, particularly in the pass game. Caleb Williams had a standout game exploiting our secondary. He made us look terrible. The Panthers' defense gave up, like I said, over 400 plus yards with over 300 passing yards and 100-something rushing yards. Unacceptable, right? So when you look at the numbers aren't good. But we're going to look at some correlations here. So the Panthers' defense has allowed 36 points, continuing a trend of high-scoring games against them. As of Week 5 in the 2024 NFL season, the Carolina Panthers' defense is allowing an average of 33 points per game. This ranks them among the lowest in the league in terms of scoring defenses, right? Okay, so that's right there. Looking at the numbers, you're like, hey, this defense sucks. Rivero's got to go. What were you talking about? Miss me with that? Well, pump the brakes. Hold on. Now, before we break this down, I said it already. This isn't a testament to Rivero, right? This isn't me trying to save him or saying he's not a problem, because he's obviously has a hand in it. But there's more than just what meets the eye. And that's why I like to do these pods, because I like to really dive deep. So let's look at it. Key issues. Pass defense, right? Let's look at it again. Caleb Williams had a good game. He went 20 for 29. I want to give out a little love to the Bears because, again, it is a Panther podcast, but we also have to let the other team have a little something too. So he was 20 for 29, 304 yards, 2 touches, and we literally couldn't do anything to stop him in the secondary. And again, communication breakdowns, fundamental things, that's coaching, and that 100% we got to get that cleaned up. That I'm going to put on the coach, but some of the other stuff we're going to talk about. So some bright spots. Shy Tuttle, he was a nose tackle. He had a strong game. He recorded multiple tackles for a loss, providing consistent pressure up the middle, which was solid. Xavier Woods was active in the secondary. He made some key tackles, a couple pass breakups, So now let's talk a little bit about areas of improvement here. Obviously, the pass rush needs improvement, but and if we didn't already know that the defense was going to take a step back this year, I don't really know what to tell y'all. I'm sorry. I'm getting into like the breakdown of why this is all correlating. I guess I didn't piece it up the best there. I'm sorry, but yes. But anyways, there's if you didn't know we were gonna take a step back defensively this year, I'm sorry. You should have. Because we lost Burns, we lost Louisville, we lost a lot of key players, and even when we had these guys, our defense wasn't really generated. We weren't top 3 in sacks. So, we were already kind of mid-grade at best at pass rushing, and then you take away our best guys, we're not accomplishing nothing. So, we just got to already understand that, right? So, basically, we lost a lot of our key players, right? Just from trading and trying to get the offense better. Then, coupled with all the injuries that we have, right? That's also going to make the defense look bad because you got guys, and I've heard guys talking about this in other spaces too. You got guys that are on our depth positions and then our practice squads that wouldn't be basically on anybody else's practice squad. And if they would be, that would be at best. So like our rotational guys are basically not even practice squad players on other teams. And these guys are starting, but yet you want them to perform at a high level. That's delusional. I'm sorry. You're delusional. You're delusional if you're sitting there expecting Nick Thurman to perform at a Derek Brown level. You know what I mean? That's why Derek Brown's Derek Brown and Nick Thurman's Nick Thurman. Or if you're expecting LeBravion Ray to play, at a extremely high level. Like, no, you can expect these guys to fill in and play solid, but not at an elite level because these guys aren't elite talent. That's why they're rotational or practice squad players. That's a thing. Not every player is elite. That's why you have elite players, good players, great players, etc. Okay? So there's many reasons why this defense is in the situation it's in. Okay, so as I said already, the loss of key players due to the offseason acquisitions, then again, the key injuries, right? And then again, coupled with not playing complementary football that I just broke down in our play-by-play, we see that we're not running the ball on first down. We're passing the balls on first down. So if you pass the ball on first down, incomplete, go 2nd and 10, then run the ball on 2nd down for 2 yards. Now you're 3rd and 8. Now you're 3rd and 8. And it's a 3rd and 8. I don't like 3rd and 8s because you know why? Those are tricky. You know what I mean? And that's going to set you up for a possible punt. Run the ball on first down, run the ball on 2nd down, and then throw the ball. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm old school smash mouth, man. Run the freaking ball. But anyways, we're not doing that. And we're not doing something that's the most efficient. This is a coaching issue. Now, again, Coach Canales is a rookie head coach, so I'm not calling for his head. I'm not calling, he'll obviously get better and clean these things up over time. But we can't sit here and just knock the entire defensive coaching staff for being shit when there's other factors that are taking place here. Now, if we had everybody healthy, we had 0 injuries, and we were allowing 33 points per game, absolutely everybody's fired. No question. But we got a lot of other things that are happening here. So again, our pass rush needs to improve to disrupt opposing quarterbacks more efficiently. Okay? Caleb Williams had way too much time back there, and he picked apart our secondary because of this. Tackling. Another thing, right? So this is coaching 100%. Missed tackles were a significant issue and have been a significant issue. So this is why I'm not completely defending Coach Rivero, because there are a lot of coaching issues that need to get cleaned up. I don't know if he just wants to get out of Carolina because we keep signing him. I don't know, but I mean, tackling has been atrocious, bro. We're not wrapping up. Some fundamental things 100% need to get cleaned up. I'm not dismaying that at all. But there's more and other factors. But either way, tackling, 100% coaching. And that and it's a significant issue. And that also led to extending plays for additional yardages. Improving tackling fundamentals will be critical moving forward. Okay? And then one more area for improvement is coverage assignments. Coverage assignments are so critical. I don't know what we're doing with like this pass off zone scheme. Like I don't know, man. It's definitely weird. It doesn't seem to really be working. And we need to reevaluate that. But the secondary needs to tighten up their coverage assignments, particularly across top-tier receivers. When we play better receivers, they're really finding the seams and getting open and allowing these quarterbacks to make plays. Like DJ Moore hit the seam to make that big play, that big touchdown on Mike Jackson. You know what I mean? And that's, we're not getting any communication with the safeties to help the cornerbacks. Like, and again, as a person that played safety, very confusing to why we're not communicating and where the miscommunication is. And again, that's fundamentally an issue, and that is 100% coaching. Sorry, I didn't take a sip of water there. So we got to get those three things cleaned up, and that's my area for improvement for the defense. Now let's break down all the correlations that I kept saying that are having this defense get messed up here. So just the other day, I did a count. We had a total of around 18 plus injuries, or at least 18 plus players affected by injury. If you didn't know, there's 22 starters, 11 on offense, 11 on defense. So we almost have the total amount of starters injured. Not saying that all the starters are injured, but I'm just saying that we have almost 22 players hurt. That's significant. And if we're not taking that into consideration, I don't know. But anyways, so let me explain to you my correlation to the defensive problems. So as I said, we have many injuries, but we want to quickly dismay that because of the Saints game when we had everybody in. I'll get into that in a second. Derrick Brown is out for the season. Derrick Brown's impact, he's the cornerstone of our defensive line. Known for his ability to disrupt the run and pass, his absence has left a significant void in that interior, and making it easier for the opponents to run the ball and quarterbacks more time in the pocket. We all want to talk about, the Saints game. They dropped a 40-50 burger on us. Okay, let's look at the Saints game then. Let's look at the Saints game. Well, I'm pretty sure what happened in that game, well, we had Bryce Young starting, let's look at Bryce Young's stats real quick. Now, we're going to make this quick because obviously I'm getting off subject. But yeah, Bryce Young was 13 for 30, 161 yards, and 2 interceptions. Okay? He did absolutely nothing. And again, complementary football, ladies and gentlemen. That's what this is about. Complementary football. Okay? You can't expect one side of the ball to be the end-all be-all. Absolutely not. So let's look at the game. Our first week against the Saints, play by play. Saints go down 5 plays, 70 yards, score a touchdown. Okay, cool. It's the first week. Everybody's still clicking up, getting all the communications and everything. There's going to be some hiccups. Not a big deal. They got the ball first. They went down and scored. Okay, offense, let's answer back. Well, what did we do on our first possession in that game, ladies and gentlemen? We threw an interception. First play. Our drive lasted a matter of 14 seconds. 14 seconds. And then Saints get the ball. They kick a field goal. We get the ball. What happens? 5 plays, 15 yards, punt. And then the Saints get the ball, have a methodical 11-play, 79-yard drive for a touchdown. We get the ball again. What do? 6 plays for 8 yards. 8 yards. And you want this guy to be back and playing? You're calling for this guy to be our quarterback? He had 6 plays and accumulated 8 yards. If you don't believe me, go fucking look it up. Because I'm tired of hearing this shit. Look at the whole fucking game before you go out and just start talking and running your fucking mouth. Look at the whole game. Dude, 6 plays, 8 fucking yards? Are you kidding me? 8 yards? 4 minutes? That's fucking dog shit, bro. Fuck Bryce Young. That dude sucks. 6 fucking plays? That's the fucking guy you want? Get the fuck out of here, man. But we're going to talk shit about everybody else. I can't fucking stand this dude. I can't wait till he's gone. Because it's the root of all fucking evil. Bryce Young, bro. This guy can do no fucking wrong, but everybody fucking loves him. Makes no fucking sense. Dude sucks. First play, interception. Second drive, 5 plays, 15 yards, punt. Third drive, 6 plays, 8 yards, punt. Trash. Then he comes out and fumbles after 2 plays. Fuck that dude. Yeah, you heard me right. I can't even look at that shit and not get pissed off. This is how fucking frustrating it is. But they dropped 47 points. No shit, bro. Interception, punt, fumble, punt. How the fuck you gonna win a game that way? You're not. That's the defense fault? Fuck you. That ain't the defense fault. That's shitty ass offense. That's your shitty ass Bryce Young. That's what that is. Miss me with that shit. Tired of this fucking dude. I can't wait till he's gone. Can't fucking wait. Gets me all worked up. Oh my god. So like I said, losing your key cornerstone defensive lineman, critical. Again, Shaq Thompson, he's out for the season. The team captain and the key leader on this defense, his ability to cover the ground, make tackles, and again, communication and communicate with the rest of the team to line everybody up is critical. If you never played defense, you have a leader on defense who calls and sets everybody up in position. You don't remember Luke Kuechly, how he was so good at that? Yeah. Those guys aren't playing right now, bro. You got guys that wouldn't even be a fucking rotational piece starting for us, but they wouldn't even be a practice squad guy anywhere else. That's the problem. And again, correlation doesn't always lead to causation, but in this case it does. So how does it correlate to defensive problems? Well, I'll tell you how it correlates to defensive problems. The run defense. The loss of Derrick Brown and Shaq Thompson has been particularly detrimental to the run defense. Without Brown and Shaq Thompson's presence in the middle and tackling ability, the Panthers have allowed significant rushing yards. Significant rushing yards. Significant. And again, when you don't play complementary football, this is what happens, right? And then again, pass defense, injuries in the secondary have led to breakdown in coverages and communications. We know this. We've seen it. And this has resulted in big plays and high yardage allowed through the air. Again, same thing. Having a key communicator on that secondary along with your front seven is critical. And then tackling issues. The absence of our experienced tackers like Thompson and Josey Jewell. And again, Derrick Brown, key players, have also led to missed tackles and extended plays and yardage. Like, this is the issue. And again, it's not just these are the issues. It's all three things. It's bad coaching, right? Let's just say that off rip. It's bad coaching. It's bad game planning. And then it's the injuries coupled with everything else. So again, you put all that together, these are the results you're going to get. These are the results we're going to get, so please miss me with that stupid-ass fucking Saints game, that shitty-ass quarterback that should have never even been brought here, because all you fucking Goombas that just sit at home and watch ESPN and don't dig into shit, don't do shit except turn on ESPN and listen to Daniel and Jeremiah talk up Bryce Young. Oh my God, he's going to be so good. He's fucking shit, bro. He is dog shit. And he ain't, look at these numbers, bro. Oh my God, bro. This ain't college. Whip-de-doo. The dude was a great college quarterback. He ain't a good NFL quarterback. Fucking hop off. Hop the fuck off. Literally. But that's what it is. That's what it is. And then the lack of pressure. Again, not having your key players, guys that can get in, you're not going to get pressure, and we've seen it. And we already knew we weren't going to get pressure because we don't have any edge rushers, people. You knew this already. We traded away everybody to get the offensive better. Now the offense looks a little better. I've said it week one when I started my pod here. What did I say? I said that this was going to be the evaluation season. And it is. And you can tell by the moves that we're making. I mean, you got Hunter Renfrow sitting out there. We got a lot to do. Like, I was going to put a post on social media, and I didn't. And I should have. That we should get Marquise Haynes and Shaq, and we did. That's why I'm not going to post it now because we already did. And I meant to post it before we went after him because it would have been cool because I kind of would have predicted the thing, but whatever. But yes, correlation can lead to causation. In this case, it does, as I said, with poor coaching. Rivero is not off the hook here because a lot of the fundamental stuff, he's got to get better. But that coupled with the loss of key players, not due to injury, just due to offseason acquisitions and injuries and poor game planning and not having complementary football, this is the result. So moving forward, we need to have scheme. We need to adjust the scheme. We need to adjust the scheme that's going to fit the personnel we have now due to these injuries. We need to get better with our player development because we're not seeing any player development. And again, Rivero, he wanted DJ Johnson. He was banging on the table for him in that war room, clapping and doing backflips when we drafted him. He's been a bum. He's been a bum too. So again, that's something that I'm holding Rivero accountable for. And again, I said it already, I'm good with moving on from him, but I like for us to look at everything as a whole. And then again, I said it already, focusing on fundamentals, emphasizing the fundamentals such as tackling, coverage techniques, and pass rush moves in practice will be a helping key point to turn around this defense performance. So hopefully it will. We'll see. I don't know, but we'll see. And then turnover troubles. Obviously, we have to get better with holding the ball, not, taking care of the ball, protecting the ball. That is key. We have to do that. So, and then moving forward on offense, we need to improve some of the blocking schemes to kind of help out our offense when they are sending blitz packages, because for some reason we just don't know how to maintain blitzing. Team blitzes us and a nickel blitz, and we don't know how to handle a nickel blitz. It's ridiculous. I don't understand it. You know what I mean? One of the easiest things to read is a nickel blitz, but yet we can never pick it up. And balanced play calling. Key. Balanced play calling, maintaining a balanced approach. I'm clapping when I'm doing it because this is what we need to be doing. Even while trailing, we need to have a balanced offensive approach, okay, to help keep defensive honest and open up opportunities, right? So if we're one-dimensional, we're never going to win a game, and that falls on Canales, end all be all. Canales has got to get that right. And last but not least, we need to utilize the play action more, and we can do that if we're consistent with the run. You got to do what you said you were going to do, coach. At the end of the day, that's what we need from you. We need you to do what you said you were going to do, run the ball. It's working, and it's efficient. But again, the reason, in my honest opinion, of why we're not doing those things is what I said before in my very first podcast, that this year is the evaluation season. And I just brought it up. You can tell by the moves that we're making, right? The moves we're making right now, again, we have like a Hunter Renfrow sitting out there. We're not grabbing him. And we have injuries to our wide receiver room. And not for nothing, he would be an immediate, upgrade to like Mingo and some of the rotation guys we have. So getting him makes sense. You know what I mean? Other guys are sitting out there that we could grab that could help us, but we're not. And the reason why we're not is because I said it already. This year is the evaluation season. What is the evaluation? The evaluation of our new core squad, our new core team. Who's coming with us in the next season development stage? Because that's what this is. Coach Canales is going to go out there. He's going to call his plays. He's going to do what he likes. He's going to see how guys look and then make his decision of who this core team is moving forward to bring in a 2025 and start that actual era of the Canales era, right? Where he has full control. He brought in some guys last year, meaning this year, and then next year he has time to bring in his team, his guys. Maybe even a new DC. So I really believe that this is the evaluation season. And again, actions speak louder than words, and you can see it by us not addressing some of these key needs when players are available, and we can make moves to make it happen. And that's basically, my key obs and all that of this. I said that it was going to be a lot this game, or I'm sorry, this pod. I'm sorry, had a lot of built up stuff here, but let's just move into PFF grades and we'll wrap up the show because we're definitely got a long one going here. So best offense, Jalen Coker with an 83.3. That's why I'm saying he needed to take over 100%. 100% he needed to take over for Mingo. And then Ike Ekwonu had a good game. He was on the best offense at 70. Xavier Legette, he had a 64. And then best defense was Shai Tuttle with 86. Xavier Woods had a 75. Claudin had a 73. J.C. Horn had a 63. And Trevin had a 62. Trevin Wallace has definitely been a standout, a great pick from this year's draft. Really big on him. Was really excited when we got him. And now y'all see why. Dude's a tackling machine. Worst of the offense was Blackshear with a 49. Then we had Jonathan Mingo with a 49. Ja'Tavion Sanders, not playing well, man, 42. And then Tommy Tremble with a 33. That was the worst of the offense. And the worst of the defense, Clowney again on there, man, with a 54. It's very disappointing. Charles Harris again on there with a 49. TJ Smith again on there with a 43. Teron Jackson with a 41, and then Ashawn Robinson with a 33. So this is my point. If you look at our depth on defense, it's just not there. It's just not there. These guys, again, wouldn't be really on anybody's practice squad. And if they were, they're just literally practice squad guys. And then same with like the offense. We're not adding any players that could really make a difference. And that's how you know that we are just evaluating the talent and getting the core together for next year to build upon. That's the process right now. I can almost guarantee it. But that was the worst and best of the PFF grades. And I'm going to wrap up the show here. Again, I really appreciate everybody for listening. I went on a little tirade there. I do apologize. But yeah, I'm just as passionate as all of us are about our Panthers. And obviously, I didn't expect much out of this season, so I'm not over the top about it. But I do get frustrated when, we like to point fingers just at one thing when it's a collection of things. That's all I think. And again, the one thing that we're pointing at is you're not wrong at all. And I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm saying that that's correct coupled with other things. That's all I'm getting at. So we got to look at it as a whole. And when you look at it as a whole, you can see that it is definitely a tumbleweed effect and a combination of situations here that's affecting this defense. So defense will continue to struggle. Panthers again. Yeah, I was saying 5 to 7 wins this year. We're looking more 3 to 5 now. And it's unfortunate, but that's okay because again, this was going to be an evaluation season. Get right, get the core together, and then have the proper plan and understanding of where we're going to go moving forward. All right, again, ladies and gentlemen, I really appreciate everybody listening to the show and following me on my podcast journey. I really appreciate all of you for listening. And once again, God bless, take care, and first and goal,